Hello everybody, welcome back to our next tutorial. This time, if you remember the last time, we cut our pattern out, cut our pattern pieces out, sewed them together on the sewing machine, and now, having trimmed all the edges and removed all the loose threads, I'm going to show you how to attach this beautiful fabric to your frame. So what we're going to do is to take our petticoat frill, which is what I call it, that we've sewn together, and we're going to place it on top of our frame. And it looks a bit loose to start with, but that's okay. And then we're going to pin it all the way round. When you're pinning, pin horizontally on the top. You're pinning the fabric that you've just cut out onto the binding that you've got on the top of your shade and at the bottom. And when you've pinned all the way around and you've pulled your fabric into shape, make sure that each of the seam lines is covering the struts. So that means you get your pattern in absolutely correct position. And when you've done that, we're going to take a needle and thread and sew around the top first. You just need to use a running stitch, catching in the fabric and the binding, and then you're going to do the same at the bottom. So I've stitched all the way around the top and all the way around the bottom. The lampshade makes a lovely drum sound when you tap it, which means it's nice and tight. So what I'm going to do now is we need to trim all this little bit of excess around the bottom, making sure that we don't catch the sewing threads at the back, or they'll let loose. So we've got to cut all the excess fabric off, being careful we don't cut the stitching. Just use a sharp pair of scissors for that. I do it from top first, neaten it off, that's all you need to do, and then the same at the bottom, trimming it. So there is your lampshade ready to be decorated. So now we need to do the pretty bits and decorate it. And for that you'll need your glue gun and you will need some trims. And I'm going to simply trim this very simply because it's such a fussy shade. I don't want too much to detract from the fabric. But the first thing we need to do is to put some braid on the bottom here to actually cover all the raw ends. And to do that, I'm just going to use this braid. You don't have to do this, but I think it neatens it and gives it a good finish. So simply put your glue along the bottom of the shade and then put your braid over the top. As I said before, this used to be done when I first started making lampshades a very long time ago. We didn't have glue guns, everything had to be stitched on by hand, and it's wonderful, but it takes such a long time. And when there really isn't a need these days, especially with all the new glues and materials they have these days. So keep doing that all the way round until you get to the other end, making sure that you pull in all the raw edges all the way along. You do need a lot of braid for these lampshades and beading, and none of the items are cheap. This is why these lampshades are so expensive. Not only are they made by hand, but the cost of the materials, particularly the trims, are really, really expensive. But they do last for a very, very long time. Probably a lifetime if they're looked after. Right, I've done that, it looks very much neater, and I've also put a little bit around the top inside to cover that braid too. And now I'm going to put some gold braid around the top. And the same method goes, just glue gun very carefully along the top. You don't want glue dripping onto the fabric. And this is up to your imagination. You can decorate your shade in whatever way you like. Make sure you get plenty of glue so it sits nicely in place. You can put it on the braid as well, on the back of the braid. Cut it. And then because the stitching lines are still showing, I want to put some more braid around the top, like so. So I'll do that, like that, and then I'll put the fringing on. Right, what I have done is I have taken a vase and I've put a shade carrier in the vase because this shade needs a shade carrier. And I sit it on there, which lifts it up away from the bottom of the table, and I can put the fringing on now without it touching the table. It's a really easy way of doing it. Just a vase, even if you haven't got a shade carrier, it will work just the same, just like that, raising it above the table. Whatever you've got in the house, use. So again, we're going to just glue all the way around and attach the fringing. So I've put the fringing on, I've done a double layer of the fringing, so it looks really beautiful. And now I'm going to put some beading around, just to give it that little bit more, make it a little bit more special. And that will be beautiful. And then when I've done that, so I'll glue that on the same way with the glue gun, and then to hide the red ribbon I will complete it with some gold braid. So I'll do that now and then we'll be finished. So the lampshade is now complete. What I'm going to do with this one before it's used is I'm going to spray it with fire retardant spray. You can buy this on Amazon. It's a fire retardant spray used for upholstery, and you just spray it on and allow your shade to dry. Just gives it that little bit of protection against, you know, if somebody used a very hot light bulb and it burnt the fabric. But that's very unlikely these days because of LED bulbs and cold bulbs. I would recommend only using LED bulbs with fabric lampshades. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please message me if you have any queries or if I've missed anything out, or if you'd just like to share pictures of your own lampshades. So just contact me, and if you'd like to find out about any more videos or I'm going to do in the future, just let me know. But thank you once again for watching Susan's Craft Cabin. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Please subscribe and spread the word. Thank you very much. Bye.